Alright, so in this video I'm going to share with you what I'm doing on my Bermuda lawn for the month of July. The weather is hot, it's well over 90 degrees, and Bermuda growth is just exploding. This is the time, if you haven't done so already, to do your core aeration. You have more than enough time for the turf to recover. When you core aerate, you're going to allow water, air, and nutrients to get down to the root zone, and this is going to make your lawn pop. So do your core aeration if you haven't done so already. The only time you don't want to do this is when you have new sod. Other than that, you can do your core aeration anytime during the growing season. This is also the perfect time to do any type of top dressing or lawn leveling. If you have that bumpy turf, using a 70-30 mixture, which is what I like to personally use, is going to help relieve that bumpiness. But just know, lawn leveling is a type of project you usually have to come out and do every year in order to relieve that bumpiness on your turf. If you want a top dress is one of those things you do to add organic material to the top of your turf. This is going to allow the Bermuda to fill in those spots very easily, and it's going to make your lawn more healthier over time. So top dressing, lawn leveling, and core aeration is one of those things you want to do right now. It's not too late. One of the most important things you got to keep doing is mow, and you got to mow consistently. Mow often. This is how you're going to have a healthier turf, and you're going to have that green consistent look throughout the lawn. The frequency of the mowing is really going to depend on how low you're keeping your height of cut, how often you're fertilizing, and whether you're providing irrigation. Those three main factors really affect the frequency of mowing. For me, I'm keeping my lawn at 0.75 inches, and at 0.75 inches I find I have to come out and mow every 2 days. If I let 3 or 4 days pass, it's just going to be way too much clippings. So you don't want to allow too much days to pass in between mowings. You want to mow consistently, mow often. This is much more healthier for the turf. If you find you're mowing your lawn a little bit too frequently, this is when you can apply a PGR, which is a plant growth regulator. I highly recommend you put down the PGR. It's going to increase the spacing between mowings, but you do not want to put down the PGR if you have an unhealthy turf that's stressed, any kind of insect damage or fungal issues. If you have any one of these things, you do not want to put down the PGR. But the PGR has been really life-changing for me. So instead of me coming out and mowing at 0.75 inches every 2 days, I now come out and mow every 5-6 days. So PGR is definitely a thing I highly recommend if you have a healthy turf. Irrigation. Irrigation is one of those things you really want to keep an eye on. I have these irrigation monitors around my property, and this gives me an eyeball of how much rain has fallen over a certain period of time. So you really got to make sure your lawn is getting that 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week. Fortunately for me, in my area, I have not had a severe drought. It's been raining almost every single day or every 2 days. And this has provided a lot of water on my turf. But the minute I hit a dry spell, this is when I'm gonna come out and manually irrigate my lawn. What's also gonna help your irrigation is using hydrotane. I used hydrotane this year, and I'm noticing that I get that extra mile on my lawn. I get that extra mile between waterings. But just know, hydrotane is not a miracle. It's not a miracle drug. It's not going to eliminate water completely. And the way hydrotane works, it absorbs humidity from the air and gets it down to the root zone when the grass needs it most. So if it's really hot, if it's 100 degrees for consecutive days and there's zero humidity in the air, hydrotane is not going to work for you. So you want to make sure you're able to manually irrigate when needed. Feeding the lawn. I'm still putting down my fertilizer application. I'm fertilizing with a PGF Complete, and I'm putting it down every 4 weeks. I'm going at the lightest rate possible, and in between that, I'm using a liquid fertilizer called Liquid Lawn. I spread this with a backpack sprayer, but you can also use a hose end sprayer with this. I find I get better results when I'm spoon feeding the lawn little by little as opposed to one heavy fertilizer application. With the excessive heat of 90, 95, 100 degrees, you want to be careful with your fertilizer application. You want to feed it just little by little, and it goes hand in hand with irrigation. If you're not providing irrigation, if you're not watering your lawn, you don't really want to fertilize. But because I'm fertilizing, I gotta make sure I irrigate my lawn appropriately. Bugs and bug control is an ongoing issue. With a granular insecticide, that's going to keep the bugs at bay on the lawn. It's going to take care of the ants, it's going to take care of any type of crawling insects on the lawn. But because of all the rain we had and the increased chances of water runoff, I'm applying this a little bit more often than usual. So usually I apply a granular insecticide about once every 8 to 12 weeks. But this year I'm probably applying it about once every 6 to 8 weeks. Along with the granular insecticide, I'm applying a liquid insecticide. With the liquids, I typically focus on the fence, the foundation, any low-lying bushes, and along my woods. Again, with the rain we've had, I gotta reapply this every so often because rain will wash away the product. So with the liquid insecticides, I like to use a hose end. And with the hose end, I will reapply this about every 3 to 4 weeks just to keep the bugs at bay. Other issues I look for is Japanese beetles. When I see Japanese beetles, or if I see the damage they cause, I'm thinking a month to 2 months later. And what's going to happen is that you're going to start to see issues with grubs and even fall armyworms. So because of this, it's really important to apply a granular insecticide on your lawn. I've never ever had issues with grubs or even fall armyworms, and the main reason why is because I religiously apply a granular insecticide. Don't fall asleep on this. A granular insecticide is going to take care of a lot of issues, but the main thing with any type of insecticides, when you apply it, you got to keep kids and pets off it until the product has had time to dry. I understand the concerns some people may have when you do any type of insecticide treatments on your turf. When you do this, you're going to avoid any issues with grubs, fall armyworms, even ants. You're going to avoid a lot of these issues by religiously applying and reapplying your granular insecticide every so often. Another thing I watch out for when you're having hot, humid days and a lot of rain in the forecast, I like to watch out for any fungal issues. The most common one that I see on Bermuda lawns is dollar spot. They are coin-shaped brown spots that develop on the lawn, and if left untreated, it will become a bigger issue over time. There's a few things you can do to prevent dollar spot from developing, and one of the big things is to watch your waterings. You don't want to water at night if at all possible. Avoid night waterings. What has also helped me, although it's not a guarantee, is to provide a fungicide treatment at a preventive rate. Using the granular fungicide at the preventive rate is going to reduce the chances of having fungal issues on your lawn. You can easily get these type of fungicide treatments at a local big box store and just apply it once every 30 days. You're going to prevent a lot of issues from developing. As I mentioned earlier, this is a time to do any type of top dressing or lawn leveling. I've done a few of these projects in the past, and for more information on how to do a project like this, you can tune to these videos right here.